Namaste, everyone. I welcome you all to today's Yes Talk. The title today is Nishkamya Seva as a means to the final goal. Our guest speaker today is Dr. Vibha Taluja, who is the president of Association for Social Health in India, Haryana. Her education is in the fields of chemistry and biotechnology, which she describes as not merely the study of life sciences, but a profound exploration into the science of life itself. Her spiritual journey began with two significant influences: the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and the spiritual guidance of the Mother and Sri Aurobindo. And later on, she met her spiritual master, His Holiness Swami Chidanand Ji of Divine Life Society, Rishikesh. With a shifted perspective on life, Dr. Taluja was drawn to the cause of social welfare and has dedicated her efforts to uplifting underprivileged children for over 2 decades. Vibha ma'am, we are so glad and honored to have you with us today. Thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to a lovely session with you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this wonderful platform. I'm so grateful to Dr. Bijlani, who found myself, you know, capable enough to share my thoughts with this with this audience. And I'm very happy to be here today with you all. Let me first start with a prayer. It is a shloka from the Vedas, and it appears in Kathopanishad. And it's a prayer for sharings. We together we pray and we share. Senavavatu, Seno Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karmavahe, Tejasvinavadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahe. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The shloka which I just now chanted, let me share the meaning. It says, the Rishi says, may the Lord protect us both. May He nourish us both with knowledge. May we both exert for capacity or samarthya. Let what is studied be brilliantly clear, and let nothing come in between us so that this communication is complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. So today, as the topic says, this topic actually came to me from the words of Mother. I was just reading one of the writings of Mother, where I came across a very wonderful sentence, and that is, to be at the service of the divine is the surest way to attain realization. So this is how, this title came into being, that this is the road to self-realization if the service is to the divine. So the basic what I should say, the basic meaning of service is not just, doing something, some action, thinking that I am doing something for the benefit of somebody else. So that would be a wrong meaning of that action, because ultimately all service to the creation, to this creation of the Lord, is to the Lord Himself. It's not that one is doing some favor to somebody else and trying to do something good to others. Actually, as per the understanding which the masters have given us, there is no other in this world. It's all He and Himself. So that, if that is the thought, with that particular meaning of the self, if one is doing some action, any action towards anyone or anything, so that becomes the service to the Lord, to the divine Himself. So keeping that in mind, today's sharing has developed, and the main purpose of this sharing is to understand how to expand the heart so that we can develop that feeling of oneness in ourselves. So that oneness is the basic, I would say, the joining thread of all our creation, of our fellow beings, of everything, whatever is around us, whatever surrounds us, and wherever we are put into, in any situation, any circumstances, any a step in life, whatever is coming to us is His will, is for my own progress, for my own development, and my own welfare. So, if that is the thought behind, then only we can say that yes, this service can lead me to the ultimate goal of self realization. So, I was going through one of the talks given by Swami Chidananji Maharaj, whereby he mentions the maxim given by his Gurudev, Swami Shivanandji. It was given in a very short, profound few words, that is, serve, love, give, purify, meditate, and realize. So these are very few words, so to say, but every word in itself bears a philosophy. Like the first word is serve, but serve to whom and how? So that becomes the main thing. And when one goes out of oneself and seeks to serve, so that in itself is the annihilation of ego, because one is moving out of one's own comfort zone and trying to do something more than that. So that actually leads us to the egolessness state of being. And because if the ego comes on the way, we can hardly do any good to anything or anyone, not even to ourselves. We cannot be happy, we cannot be at peace, because where ego is, there is no peace. Where ego is, there is no happiness, no joy. And the main purpose of serving is to grow in our own peace, in our own happiness. And Mother very beautifully says, all service done sincerely to the divine is sadhana. And all increase in the urge to serve is a sure sign of progress. So that urge to serve, if that is increasing, that means this in itself is an indication that a person is growing in sadhana, is progressing. So that actually gives a very beautiful purpose of life, like how one should lead a life of selflessness, of happiness, of eternal joy. Because service in itself is a reward for the person who is doing whatever action. And it is leading to something in the betterment of the surroundings, maybe of uh, things, of people, or whatever. It can be, for example, it can be the people around me, it can be the environment around me, it can be the surroundings where I am living, or it can be even the physical manifestation of everything, whatever surrounds me. So that way, if one considers service is something that is wholly and solely is benefiting my own self, my own happiness, so then only this becomes a Nishkamya Seva, whatever what I have mentioned in the title. And Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita has time and again, uh, spoken of this Karma Yoga from chapter 3, 4, and 5. This is all about the Karma Yoga. And in that chapter, so many things Lord is telling to Arjuna. And then Arjuna is perplexed. He says, Lord, you are saying, in the chapter 2, Lord says that you have to be, you have to develop equanimity. Samatva yoga is the way to gain knowledge, and then, be established in the self. And then only you can actually go towards the goal of life. But then Arjuna is perplexed. He says, at one point, you are asking me to be stable, to seek the knowledge, to meditate. And then in the second instance, at the end of the chapter, you are saying, now come and fight the enemy, the evil. So how this is possible? Why are you telling me to do such a, such a action which involves so much of destruction? But then Lord says, look, there are many ways to lead a life, and life without action is no life, because if nobody does action, if one doesn't do any action, then what will happen? We'll not be able to even lead our own life satisfactorily. Action happens automatically. And if we are aware, we are conscious of whatever we do, then only the action becomes yoga. So that is how it's been told by the Lord Himself that action is a must. One has to perform action in life. But how to do that action? That is the main thing we need to learn. Naham karta, hari karta, the way it is said by the wise, it is told by the wise. If that feeling we can develop in ourselves, it is all action is not me. I am only an instrument and a channel of that divine energy, which is prompting this action through me. So that actually becomes a Nishkamya karma. And that is what the mother says, that service to the divine. So that divinity, if one can see, like Lord Krishna say, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra, sarvam cha mai pashyati. The one who sees me in everything, and everything in me, he only sees. So that kind of vision needs to be developed, but it's not that easy. But then our saints and masters, holy masters, they have shown us the way, like how this can be done. Because sitting at home in all my comforts, I can just say that yes, I can see God in you. But the moment it something comes opposite to my thinking or my views, so immediately that vision is gone, that is lost. So then how to do it? So Lord Krishna himself says it's true that the mind is very, chanchal. The mind doesn't stop anywhere. But then the only thing is to do practice. And practice comes by dispassion, by vairagya. And dispassion to what? Dispassion to all material things or objects, to desires, to our promptings of the mind. That only, if we can control that, we how to control? Again, by practice. Because Arjuna says it's not easy, and it really is not easy at all. We all understand this, because anytime we get swayed by the mind's promptings, and the higher self, what so to say, takes a back seat. We just don't want to listen to all the advices and the teachings and preachings, and we are just swayed away by the desires and the objects. So what to do? So again and again, come back. Okay, realize that, understand with that awareness, oh, today I have done this mistake, this happened to me, and now I have again, not to go down to this kind of behavior or action. That kind of awareness comes by practice, and that practice, for doing that practice, masters, they have given a very beautiful solution to this, and they say, maintain a daily diary. So maintaining a daily diary means what? That before going to bed, before sleeping, if we can write down, we can reflect back on the day's doings, and we can note down, what I did today, how it went, whether I was conscious while doing that action or not. So, that way, we can reflect upon our own actions. We can make amendments in our actions, and then maybe slowly and slowly that transformation will come will come to us. Our actions will definitely get refined, and somehow, someday, that kind of awareness will surely develop, by which we can refine our actions and live in purity. And for this particular reflection time, one has to be very honest with oneself. We cannot just keep on justifying our actions, whether the justification is right or not right. We have to be very, very conscious about this, that I'm honest to myself. Because that honesty, if doesn't come in our conscience, then nothing is going to work. Because mind is very clever. Mind knows how to justify it at all points of time. And it's not that easy to overcome the mind's doings. And that honesty, that purity only helps us to refine ourselves, to refine our actions. So this is one thing. And then, when we serve, the best thing that happens is the love in the heart develops. Because as the saying goes of Gurudev Swami Shivananji, serve and then love. Love comes later, because the service, when we reach out of ourselves and we try to look beyond our own self, then only we develop love for the creation. We develop love for others, whosoever come before us. We start loving that person, because when we are trying to serve somebody, we cannot serve without loving. So that is the basic thing that happens automatically when we are trying to help or serve somebody. It's still not that divine. We are not able to see that divine in the person for whom we are working. But then at least we start loving the people around us. And that love actually makes our heart expand. And that expansion of heart is what is required for, the ultimate, which Bhagavad Gita says, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra. Same thing. Who can see me in all things? That only is that person is dear to me. So, this kind of service, which is not egoistic, which is not just for the sake of gaining name and fame, but just for the sake of doing. When it happens, we develop love for the people, for the people around us, or for anybody whom we are trying to help or bring up. So that way, like, when we think of somebody, then only we can serve. And when we are thinking of someone, mother says, then only we love that person. Because that our thought, when it reaches into the other person, the other being, the fellow being, the love automatically develops. Like the love of mother for the child, it happens automatically because the mind is in the child. Mind is if it is in the person, we love that person. If it is in the object, we start loving that object. Because where the mind resides, love also goes there. So that emotion of love is also very important. And it comes automatically when we try to serve. Service for the sake of service, not for anything else. Then that love develops, and with love, our heart expands. And slowly, this circle of expansion increases. It gains more, I would say, impetus. And then, we start working just for the sake of work, but nothing else. And after that, when the love happens, then that means that purity is slowly coming into the heart, into the mind. Mind is nothing but a bundle of thoughts. Whatever we think, that is the material of our mind. And then how to get good thoughts? That also is a problem. Mind reaches anywhere. Whatever somebody has spoken, I will start thinking of that. If that was good, I am happy. If that wasn't good about me, I'm not happy. I'm disturbed. I'm perplexed. So, then how to refine our thoughts? That also is a question. So that they say, if we sit in meditation, then all that negative thoughts, they come out from within. And if we are conscious, we are doing this meditation with awareness, and we make it a practice again to note down whatever is coming to mind. We start noting that down, and then trying to reflect back whether this thought was good or useful to me or not, whether this thought is going to take me forward or not, or whether this thought is going to help me do something better or not. So that way, the thoughts start filtering out. The useless thoughts will be reduced, and whatever is useful will remain. So that way, we can filter off the negative thoughts in meditation. So that way, that is one method. But a simpler method, this is of course a difficult one, not that simple. And the simpler method, of course, God says that we should sit in the company of good people. Like in Bhaj Govindam, Shankara says, Satsangatve Nisangatvam, Nisangatve Nirmohatvam, Nirmohatve Nishchal Tattva, Nishchal Tattve Jivan Mukti. So this is such a beautiful verse which Shankaracharya has given us. And it starts with satsang. Satsang is the not always we have enlightened people with whom we can talk and we can sit in their presence, but then their literature, their books, their words are available to us always. So we can keep good literature, we can keep good books with us of written or spoken words of the holy masters, and that actually clarifies our mind, that clarifies our doubts, and also purifies the thoughts. So that is a very beautiful way the masters, holy masters, have given us, that how we can purify our thoughts. One is meditation, of course, and second is satsang. So satsang, of course, it can be at any time we can be in satsang. Even with one's own self also is satsang, the company of the truth. Truth is the self itself, the psychic being. If we can be with our own self, so that also is a form of satsang. But that probably is slightly difficult, what I feel for myself at least. So that way, so we have reached to a stage where we have started with service, and service has led us to love, and love has taken us to the expansion of heart, and then satsang and meditation, they have purified the heart by giving us positive thoughts, and positive thoughts makes a positive mind, positive attitude. And abiding in this positive thinking, positivity, is the realization that leads to the realization of the self. So it's a beautiful journey, how one can start with service and then reach the ultimate goal of self-realization by purifying, by practice, by purifying our thoughts. And that also comes by practice. And practice of vairagya is very important. That is dispassion. Dispassion also again comes by practice. So both ways, if we talk of dispassion, dispassion comes by practice, and we have to practice positive thinking, we have to practice good reading, we have to practice a reflection, we have to practice meditation, and we have to practice helping, reaching out to wherever we find the opportunity to be. So this is a beautiful journey that starts with service. And also, the scriptures tell that the spiritual journey starts first with the cleansing of the mind, of the heart. So that cleansing part is the biggest part. The mala means the dirt, which is covering ourselves, that is cleared by selfless service only. That is the only way of doing it. And then once that clarity that starts coming in, then comes the task of stabilizing the tossing mind, vikshepa. So that tossing of the mind comes by concentration techniques, by meditation. And then, then the grace dawns, the psychic being comes forward, and we can really listen to the voice, the inner voice, the voice of the self, the voice of the psychic being, that leads us to the ultimate goal of life, that is self-realization. And if I'm talking just this all these theoretical things, it's really not going to I would say inspire me a lot. For inspiration, then what do we do? we go to the lives of saints and masters. We see, we read about their lives, we get to know how they have led their lives. Like, if when we see the mother's life, it's so inspiring. Mother, we get to know that hardly got 2 hours of sleep. She could never get time to even sleep. She was always serving the others, serving the people, her children. So that is the kind of inspiration we draw from reading the lives of saints and sages. So that actually is the biggest inspiration we can draw from the lives of saints. And this is how we also can, design our daily routine, that we are not going down into lethargy. We are not trying to shirk from work, from doing action, and the right action at right time. So that actually comes from the readings of the lives of holy masters and the great people. So that also is a very good way of drawing inspiration. And then, we one might ask, like, what is the use of all this? Okay, I have realized the self, then what? So what? So how is this goal so important? So that also is a question, of course. And but then I came across Sri Aurobindo's one line that actually answers this query. It says, the joy of service and the joy of inner growth through works is the sufficient recompense of the selfless worker. So the joy of service and the joy of inner growth cannot be described in words. And one's experiences also start motivating. Like, for example, if I share my own experiences with the service, because as you mentioned, I'm working for the upliftment and welfare of underprivileged children. And it's a now my journey is around over 2 decades now. 23 4 years have gone by, and every day we experience something good, something so encouraging, and that we tend to do more and more. Every next day we tend to do more, whatever we have done before. So I'll quote an example of today itself. We had been working for one child who came into our fold. He's down with Down syndrome. Okay. And we are running a school, foundation school only, for younger children, 3 to 6, 7, 8 years old children who have never been to school otherwise, who belong to brick kiln workers, families. And, in that group, this boy came into our fold. And one of the medical camps that happened, the doctor said he needs a special attention and a special educator. The child with Down syndrome may not be very comfortable with the normal children because his needs are different. So then we started thinking, what to do for him, where to take him. And then we came to know of one government institution in Chandigarh, which works for intellectual disabilities children. And every second, third day, we had been going there trying to, convince the authorities that this child really needs your attention. He needs your support, your hostel facility. And today, this happened. We got a nod from them. Yes, on this coming Monday, means day after, the child will be sent to the hostel. So that was such a beautiful, wonderful news to us. We felt so happy that the task which the divine had sent to us, the child was sent to us, and now that has come to some conclusion. And such a happy moment for the family also, and for us also, uh, for whom we were trying for last almost 2-3 months continuously, doing his IQ tests, getting him, tested for from one educator to second to third to this department to that department. Ultimately, that has come to fruition. So that kind of satisfaction one draws from this activity, like it, it cannot be expressed in any words. So then again, if I talk about that particular group of children, we come across children who are, say, 9, 10 years of age. uh, they have rarely gone to school because they belong to migrant labor. And the way, the time, when the time comes for admissions, they are here in our area. And the time when it comes for their examinations, their half yearly exams, their final exams, the families are gone to their native villages. So they are placed actually nowhere. They remain out of school for a whole of the year. So we have taken this task to educate them, to give them at least some basic knowledge of reading and writing and numbers. And that has helped us so much to know about their lifestyle, because now we are receiving them. It is the time, the prime peak time for making bricks, because it's now hot, it is sunny, and this is the time when the bricks are made. This is, for us, this was a new knowledge, new information. And we are asking children, why are you not coming to us? Why are you not coming in time? We got to know they are working right from midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, to 8, 9 in the morning. Means whole night they had been working. So how can we expect a child to go to school after 8 long years, long hours of work? And that too all manual work, strenuous work. So now what we have, done adjustment with them. We say, okay, don't come in time. Whenever you are free from your work, come to us, uh, take a nice, refreshing bath, and then sit, eat properly, because there is nobody for them to cook even at home. Everybody in the family is working. So we make them sit, refresh, eat, and then we give them a bed. You now go back to sleep. No, complete your sleeping hours. And then, they get 2, 3 hours of sleep at our premises, and then they are served lunch, and then they are ready for learnings. And such enthusiasm they show. We have changed our timings for them. Okay, come in the morning, refresh, sleep, eat, and then you are ready for your next day's new learnings and playing. We give them playground, we give them sports, we give them computers to play on. And then in between all these things, they learn also something. They learn reading, they learn writing, and all these little things that happens in between that only. So this is how we learn to empathize with others. We learn to identify with them, with their problems, and then try to what I say, find solutions for that. So that actually is so satisfying. So and what more a child would require than having a good time to refresh and rest, and then eat also. And in that, doing all these things, he's learning also. So this is one part of our projects. And then today again another good news happened. We'd been trying, we are running quite a few computer learning centers. Our organization is doing computer education programs in for quite a few number of students, quite a large number of students rather. And we received our accreditation with NILIT, that is National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. This also came yesterday only. So, the kind of effort the whole team as one whole puts in is so rewarding. Rewarding to everyone's benefit. The things are happening, the society is progressing, and so many people are getting joy out of all these activities. And whosoever comes to our organization in our field, we all are so nicely bonded, like a family in the ashram. So that in itself is a great joy, great source of happiness in life. So these were my sharings for today, and I would like to mm, end with a prayer. Sena कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणाय इति समर्पयामि. Thank you so much for providing this platform to me to share my thoughts. And thank you so much, Dr. Bijlani and Arunima ji. Thanks for the time you have given.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot for this beautiful, lovely session. And it was so peaceful listening to you. And I'm sure there was so much to learn from your session and from your vast journey and what you and your organization are doing. Thank you so much. And I would like to quickly share something also, just a small coincidence. You started with a beautiful quote from the mother. And recently, we have started sharing some inspirational and motivational thoughts on our social media handles. And the very first quote that we chose was this one.
Oh, wonderful.
To be at the divine service is the surest means of attaining realization.
So wonderful.
So when you were speaking this quote, I was so delighted hearing it that we chose the same quote.
Yeah.
Actually,
So
ma'am.
that universal consciousness is one.
That's what I felt at that moment. Yeah.
This is how, the divine shows its presence.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks so much. Uh, we'll check with the participants now if they want to share something or ask something from Vibha ma'am. Please go ahead. You can use the chat box or unmute yourself and speak up, please. Okay, so Abhijit ji says, wonderful listening to you, of course, and kindly explain the prayer.
Okay, the last prayer which I said,
I
that is Kayena Vacha, Mansendriyarva, Buddhyatmanava, Prakrite Swabhavat, Karomi Yadyat Sakalam Parasmait. Uh, I, this means whatever I do with my body, with my thoughts, with my Prakriti, that is Swabhav, my nature, through my indriyas, through my actions, whatever I do, I offer it to Lord you. Oh Lord, I offer all this to you. So this is the meaning of this prayer.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks. Participants, if anyone else has a question or something to share, please go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, madam, your talk was very interesting. In the beginning, I had some apprehensions about the way the title was mentioned, because as you know, Sri Aurobindo has made some strong comments about the subject of philanthropy, which is a parallel subject regarding service. And you have very nicely kept away from that concept of philanthropy as a process of service. And thank you for that. And I appreciate very much your kind thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Bijlani, sir, I request you to share your thoughts, please.
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Dr. Vibha Taluja for having agreed to speak on this platform and sharing her several decades of sadhana with us. Because what she spoke, it was not knowledge that was being shared, but a combination of knowledge and experience, which has led to a certain wisdom. So it's not that she just knows, she has practiced it, and she gave only a little glimpse of the work that she's doing with children. Probably it was out of modesty that she didn't give too much emphasis on that, but the general things that she told about the sadhana, they came from a prolonged experience of having lived the knowledge which all of us have, but few are able to put into practice. Now let me turn to, before I go to anything else, to the question that was asked in the end. It's a common misconception that Sri Aurobindo and the mother were against philanthropy, they were against social service, and things like that. They were not against these. What they have pointed out very often is firstly their pitfalls, and secondly, their extremely sort of extreme certainty that these are not the ways to eradicate or eliminate social evils. So these things which are sometimes seen as solutions to social evils are bound to fail if we look upon it as a way of eradicating social problems or social evils. That is what they have emphasized. And that is something which is so obvious, because if all such efforts like philanthropy and social work and even others like such social reforms and revolutions, if they had to solve the problems of human existence, like inequality, injustice, sorrow, misery, and suffering, then all these problems should have disappeared long ago, because over thousands of years, so many such people have come and gone, and yet these problems continue. So what they have pointed out is that they are bound to fail because of the very limited, sort of relatively low level of human consciousness. So unless the consciousness goes up perceptibly, these problems will continue. But that doesn't mean that they are against these things. One is that they are going to be ineffective in solving the problems. Secondly, it can lead to uh, an egoistic sort of a uh, feeling in the person who does it. And that applies especially to philanthropy, because the person feels that, well, I have money and I have parted with so much of this money, I have given it away in charity. Now, that gives, that serves to boost the ego of the person. And that is not what is really desirable, because that takes away even what such acts can do. What such acts can do is they may not eradicate the problems of the world, but they can certainly lead to the spiritual growth of the person. But that will happen only if it is done in a Nishkam manner. That is why you know the word Nishkam. That is without trying to get anything out of it and wanting to get something out of it, including that ego boost, is again something which is uh, not disinterested. It is not Nishkam. That itself is a desire. And that is what will not give even that spiritual growth which the person can experience from it. It's a beautiful example which I often try to cite in on how to avoid the ego boost. Once, you know, a very rich man went to Mother Teresa and told her that you are doing so much good work. Tell me how much money you want for it. He thought that whatever amount she asks, I will have and I'll be able to give. So she told him, I don't need much money. All you do is next time you go to buy a suit and you've selected the fabric, don't buy that fabric. Instead, buy a fabric which costs less than that. And then whatever is the difference between what you had selected and what you actually buy, you can give me that difference. This had a great insight because that will not be too much money. But then what this person is doing is he's selecting something and then he making a conscious choice that instead of buying this, I'll buy something which I don't like that much, which is inferior in quality, which will cost less. And I'm doing it for the sake of someone else whose needs are greater than mine to have the best possible suit. So he's doing it with a thought for that person instead of thinking about the ego boost that he will get out of it. So it's that love that person feels while doing it, which is important. So it is what is inside you while you are doing such things that is important. And that is what Nishkam Seva is about. And perhaps one can even not call it Seva, we can just call it a karma, Nishkam karma. That is an action. Because when we say Seva, again, it means as if we are serving somebody. Yes, we are serving, but we are serving the divine. Now you'll say that if we are serving human beings, then what is wrong? There's nothing wrong with that. Sri Aurobindo and the mother were not against social service, but we should not feel that we are serving somebody, we are helping somebody. We are serving the divine in that person. We are seeing the divine in that person and serving the divine in that person. So we are serving the divine, not the person. And the difference again that it makes us realize that this person whom I feel that I'm helping is actually helping me. He's helping me do something for the divine, and by doing that, I'm growing spiritually. I'm fulfilling the purpose of my life. So this person is helping me fulfill the purpose of my life. I'm not helping him. So if we do it in that spirit, we have subtle distinctions, but that is how knowledge comes in. Because actions, good actions like philanthropy, charity, social work, many people can do without even much spiritual knowledge, because it comes sort of from the normal understanding of ethics and morality, that if I have extra, then I can share it with somebody. That will be a nice thing to do. But then I feel I'll be doing that nice thing, and that gives me that ego boost. So it can be done without too much knowledge. But when it goes into a little bit of intricacies of the knowledge inherent in karma yoga, then when we can do it in the right spirit, and then only it actually helps the person. Because in any case, it is not going to solve the problems of the world, but even that what that person can get from it, that person will get only if he performs that action with that enlightenment which comes from this knowledge. Not too much of it, but some limited knowledge is necessary. So that's how the action becomes nishkama, only when it is enlightened by some jnana. So that jnana helps in making it nishkam. And that is why in Gita we find both. And then, of course, as Vibhaji brought in, even these two are not enough. We also need the element of devotion, bhakti. And that is what makes this not dead serious business, but a source of joy. So bhakti is what makes us feel that joy of service. As you know, Sri Aurobindo says, I think some of his similar quotes were cited today also, the joy is. Vibhaji shared that quote from Sri Aurobindo about the joy of uh, service, the joy of doing something. So she shared that. Again, Savitri also says something similar, that the joys of your servitude, O king, are far greater than the liberties of heaven. servitude looks like a bondage. Serving somebody looks like a bondage, but serving the divine is not a bondage. It's far greater than the liberties, the freedom or liberties in heaven. So the servitudes on earth, the servitudes of earth, O King, the King, is the divine, are far greater than the liberties of heaven. So uh, all three fuse into one: action enlightened by knowledge and lubricated by devotion. That's what leads to the fusion of the three, and gives us the Nishkam karma or Nishkam Seva. Uh, so that is what Sri Aurobindo and the mother have emphasized. It's not that they were against these things. Again, when it comes to money, they were not against philanthropy. What they wanted was the spirit of trusteeship, that you are not the owners of the wealth that you have. It has been given to you, which is true, because even the talent to make money is like any other talent. So some have been given the talent for learning, the people with ideas, people who can grasp knowledge quickly, and some have other types of talents: music, dance, painting, art, and so on and so forth. Now, talent to make money is also one type of talent which the person has been given. Then the circumstances which made that person lucky enough to actually make money and make good use of that talent, that also was given by the divine. And therefore, actually, all this belongs, the wealth belongs to the divine. And if one goes to the extreme, then one would say that then one should not keep anything beyond what is strictly necessary for the person. And that's what Sri Aurobindo said, in a letter to his wife, that if I keep anything more than what I strictly need, I'll consider myself a thief. Now, one may not go to that extreme, but at least for the ordinary person, what they have advised is the concept of trusteeship. That I'm not the owner, I'm a trustee of this wealth, which means I have been entrusted by the divine with this wealth so that I may put it to good use. And good use would mean sharing it with those who need it more than I do, or who are not as fortunate, who have not been blessed with that type of wealth. So sharing it with them is what the concept of trusteeship tells us, and that is what philanthropy is also about. But then philanthropy, sometimes looks like something which a person is doing out of his goodness to help somebody. But that is now how it is to be seen. It is to be seen as a sacred duty, because the person has been given this special talent, and that's how he has this wealth. And then these people whom to him giving, they have been seen as opportunities which have been sent to him so that he can act as a trustee. Because again, I think Sri Aurobindo said somewhere that if such people did not exist, then how will this person be able to give anybody? So it is because they are there that you are able to give. All love has to be expressed by giving, and one can give what one has, but then one can give what one has only to those who need it. So those who need it are the ones who are helping us by providing us that opportunity to give and get the joy of giving. So with that, I'll stop here. I think it's nearing 7 o'clock. Thank you, Vibhaji, again, and we hope to have you again.
Thank you so much.
As was pointed out, your voice itself is so soothing and cooling. It has such a calming influence because it's coming from within.
I'm so grateful. You all gave me a very patient hearing. Thank you so much for your thoughts also. It was such a wonderful experience. And, I also noted one line from Savitri that says, even the smallest, meanest work became a sweet or glad and glorious sacrament, an offering to the self of the great world, or a service to the one in each and all. So this is what Sri Aurobindo has said in Savitri. So I'm touched by the words of Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and always feel inspired to grow in life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks again for a beautiful session, for sharing your deep wisdom with all of us, and for sparing your valuable time for all of us. Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to inform everyone that the recording of this session and of all the Yes Talk sessions that we have every Saturday are published on our YouTube channel, Yes Spirituality. This is how it is spelled. We invite you to visit this channel and explore the content on broadly on yoga, education, spirituality, and related subjects like self-help, psychology, and wellness.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks again, participants. Thanks for being with us today. We'll close today's session with a moment of peaceful silence. Namaste.